It's a tricky thing, trying to figure out the length of a specific river, let alone determining the longest river in the US. To start, you have to decide whether or not the river's tributaries will count toward the full length. That can be a struggle since it's not always clear where a tributary begins or ends. Even the United States Geological Survey, USGS, admits that somewhat arbitrary decisions are necessary, alongside maps, aerial photographs, and other considerations, when it comes to measuring the lengths of rivers. 1. The Missouri River. People disagree as to whether the Missouri or the Mississippi is the longest river in the U.S., but according to the USGS, the Missouri River comes out ahead by 200 miles, 322 kilometers, totaling an impressive 2,540 miles, 4,088 kilometers, from source to mouth. Originating in the Rocky Mountains, the Big Muddy River flows through 7 states, Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, Iowa, Kansas, and Missouri, before converging with the mighty Mississippi River around St. Louis. The Missouri River watershed totals more than 525,000 square miles, 845,000 square kilometers, providing life-giving water for local plants and animals. The Blackfeet, Crow, and other Native American peoples called the Upper Missouri River home for centuries. And it was up this river the adventurers Lewis and Clark famously traveled before taking the Columbia River onto the Pacific Ocean. 2. The Mississippi River. Stretching 2,340 miles, 3,766 kilometers, the legendary Mississippi is either the country's longest or second longest river, depending on who is doing the measuring. Experts can agree, however, that it's one of the largest rivers in the world and the country's largest river in terms of its drainage area, which spans 31 states and 1.2 million square miles, 3.1 million square kilometers, or roughly 1/8 of North Ames. Some lists even categorize the Mississippi River system as one of the longest rivers in the world. Once the boundary between the American West and the rest of the country, the river flows from Minnesota through 10 states before finally emptying into the Gulf of Mexico. 3. The Yukon River. Emerging from the Pelly Mountains in Canada's Yukon Territory in British Columbia, the mighty Yukon River flows 1,980 miles, 3,187 kilometers, through the rugged landscapes of Alaska, eventually pouring into the Bering Sea. Its drainage basin, which is larger than the country of Turkey, covers 328,000 square miles, 52,865 square kilometers, throughout the Canadian province and the Alaskan wilderness. On its way to the Bering Sea, this waterway serves as a primary means of transportation, connecting isolated villages and providing access to essential resources like salmon and fresh water. 4. The Rio Grande. Meandering 1,900 miles, 3,058 kilometers, the Rio Grande, or Big River, in Spanish, forms a natural border between the U.S. and Mexico. Originating in the San Juan Mountains of Colorado, the river flows through New Mexico and Texas before reaching the Gulf of Mexico, for a total watershed of 336,000 square miles, 540,740 square kilometers. The Rio Grande River has carved several impressive canyons along its course, including the Santa Elena Canyon in Texas, which is known for its towering limestone cliffs and stunning views. However, its unpredictable flow has put it at the center of numerous disputes between the U.S. and Mexico over water rights and allocation of water for all the agricultural land and municipalities. 5. The Arkansas River. The headwaters of the Arkansas originate in the Rocky Mountains of Colorado, near the Continental Divide, and journey 1,469 miles, 2,364 kilometers, through Kansas and Oklahoma before joining the Mississippi River in Arkansas. Renowned as one of the top whitewater rafting destinations in the country, the Arkansas River attracts adventure seekers from near and far who want to experience its thrilling rapids, including the famous Royal Gorge section. Its watershed is 161,000 square miles, 259,104 square kilometers.